Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna explain the flexibility of connections that is available with a solid state logic 6 mixer. So here's my diagram connections, and you can see there's a lot of connection going on. So I'm going to quickly try and explain what I'm using it for. So the main output of the mixer to my main mini disc recorder. The reason I've done it because my mini disc recorder can actually record with adequate quality, and it allows me to do quick recording without using the computer. It also acts as a AD converter. I can then send the signal to my Apollo Twin using optical cable. Then obviously I've got a monitor connection. I'm using then bus B to connect as an input to my secondary mini disc recorder, and I'll explain that a bit later. I've got the main output from the MacBook, which is coming from Apollo Twin, going to input 5 and 6 on my mixer. Main mini disc recorder comes in on external 2, the mini disc smaller one on external 1. I also have the Mac Mini I'm using for recording all of the videos and everything at the moment. It comes back on the alternative input 1 and 2, so I can just monitor what I'm doing if I want to. So essentially this is how it would come in, and then now I can literally monitor by just pressing this button here, and I can hear what's coming through back being recorded. Is my Yamaha. So I've got the main output comes to in channel 1 and 2 line input, and then I've got the output 3 and 4 alternative output on the Yamaha come to input 3 and 4 channel 3 and 4. Stereo Q1 sound go to 1 and 2 input as well, and what I'm doing, I'm switching between line input and microphone input for this, and again I'll explain why I would want that functionality and when I'm actually using that. And then the stereo Q2 goes to my analog input of my Yamaha, and that's used for various processing, including real-time for audio sampling, applying real-time effects for the coming audio, and then most of the time any audio that comes in, it doesn't go to main output, it goes to alternative output 3 and 4. So this allows me to actually process the audio and send it on a separate output without affecting my main channels on the Yamaha. So whatever's playing on the Yamaha comes in clear, and nothing gets mixed into it. Right, I'm using a talkback microphone that's sending to my Yamaha analog inputs and comes back on the input 3 and 4, but there's no real processing. It's just literally, so I don't have to repatch any cables. It was simply just to press one button. And so I want to demonstrate the LMC compressor and the way it works. So I'm going to reduce the gain a bit. So now the LMC compressor is engaged, and you can hear it's heavily compressing all the audio that's coming in. Again, in some situations you might want to use it, but I'm okay without it for now. Right, okay. So the first scenario I'm gonna talk through is how I'm playing the music from the Yamaha. Most of the time working on stereo mixers. I'm going to play that sketch, and once it comes in on 1 and 2, so I'm going to click for line input. It's only using Yamaha outputs, and then I'm going to apply quick EQ, and I'm going to press the insert effects. That's going to actually send to input 1 and 2 on my Apollo. It gives me so many options. I can either apply live processing using all the available UAD plugins, which I've got a lot of them going on. A number of plugins I can put to process live using just the UAD console is about 8 plugins in a row to process just one sound if I want. But I'm not actually using any UAD real-time plugins with this. What I'm doing, I'm using a third-party mastering plugin which is running in Logic. And so there's going to be some latency in coming in and out, return it back on channel 1 and 2. And then that process sound, if I really want to, I can apply G-Bus compressor. And then since my main output of this mixer goes to my mini disc, I can either record it on my mini disc, the finished product, or I can then again send it via optical output to my Apollo and record it in Logic on a separate track. So gives me a number of options. So let's play the track, and then, as I say, I'm going to do this quick processing. Right, let's get the volume up. Right, that sounds about right. That's EQ applied. So that was quick and easy. So we're going to play from my secondary mini-disc recorder that comes in on external 1. So my secondary mini-disc comes in on external 1, which is here, and this is where I monitor it. So this is just for monitoring. It's got nothing to do with any processing that this mixer provides, but you can add it to the main output mix. So, and now it's actually added to the main output. So if I want to get it G-Bus compressor going, so this will be applied to this. But what I quite often do is, instead of doing it here, I would send it to channel 1 and 2. And the obvious reason I'm doing it for is EQs, insert points, and then a bus G compressor. And then again, I can record the whole thing to my secondary mini disc, to my main mini disc, sorry, and then if I want to, send it to the computer for recording there. And once the signal gets through channel 1 and 2, gets into processing, which is processed by my MacBook, then G-Bus compressor, then goes to my mini disc, gets converted, gets sent to ADAT to a computer. I can, if I want to, apply additional processing and then return the sound on main output from the Apollo, which comes in here, and then I can actually record that sound by pressing this button. And if it's from my Yamaha or any other source apart from my secondary mini disc, this will be recorded by my secondary mini disc. The next one, if the sound comes in on the main mini disc recorder again, so let's just get this on. So this is again just for monitoring, adding to the main mix or getting it processed. Again, it's just so easy. Look, I can monitor, do pretty much anything I like. Now let's apply some EQs. There's live processing. Now I can actually record the whole thing to my small mini disc. Now I'm monitoring bus B, but this is my main bus B monitoring. So this is just how simple the whole thing is. Why I like the SSL mixer a lot. For recording the whole output of this, I'm using the D-sub out connection, and there's a connection on channel 7 and 8 providing the alternative monitor out, and that's what's getting recorded. Mac Mini as audio source. Right, if I want to record if I want to do any instrument recording, which I've done in the past for myself, again, I'm not doing any commercial work at all. I just say it's just a hobby. I've connected the guitar, say, on input 1, the vocal on input 2. I've swapped the channel 1 and 2 into the main outputs from the Yamaha into inputs 3 and 4 on the mixer, and that way I used sends to send to my Yamaha to apply some reverbs and delays and all that kind of stuff. And then I've used inserts to add additional processing in real time from my UAD Apollo, and that included, like, auto tune and reverbs, additional compression if I want to. But I have to say the quality of the recording that came out was very easy. Again, recorded on a mini disc, which allows me to do very quick recording sometimes if I don't want to use my computer and turn them off and do all these complex connections. It's just breathe, pressing a couple of buttons and I can get going. So I can monitor each source at every stage. So let me just give you an example. Right, so I'm going to put the volume down. So here's unprocessed and then EQ applied. So I can like say, okay, without EQ, with EQ, cool. Then insert effects. I can hear what it's doing, I can adjust it and compare whether I like it or not, and then bass compressor. I can then just press a couple of buttons and undo everything, and then press it again and compare the sound before and after. But I could do it even, you know, there's so many different options. I could hear that what I'm actually sending to stereo Q1, stereo Q2. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Please leave your comments and tell me if you've got any questions or if you want any explanations on the video.